Hello and good evening for this Thursday, August 8th. Big Brother 26 has had its week 3 eviction here in the year 2024. I'm Dave Mader and Jeff Mader on Super Mader Brothers podcast. You stream here live Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. You might be listening to us on audio version. Jeff, Kenny has been evicted.
Dumb.
Boring, had to happen. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this, but spoilers, everyone, if you haven't seen this particular episode of Big Brother 26, we were going to be talking all about it here. I guess, what was it tonight? I guess episode 8 or something. No, tonight was episode 11, Jeff. So that's where we're at. Kenny goes out here. It's kind of anticlimactic. And all I can think is this just had to happen. This was just the way of it this week.
Explain.
If Kenny hangs around for the week, is it doing anybody any good? Everybody's miserable, especially these live feeders, Jeff. Oh, the poor live feeders. They're like Kenny. All he wants to do is leave. Everyone talks about him, Kenny wanting to leave all day long. It's driving them nuts because it's staggering the game, making it not as interesting as it could be. However, I'd argue it's pretty interesting as it is. With some of the drama we got in this week's episodes. Yeah.
I'm a hate on for Quinn, and I wanted Quinn on gone. It was a clear cut, like, big threat to get out. They had no problem taking out Matt week 1. He was the big threat. This guy's a way bigger threat in the game.
I agree, but he seems to have he had the votes tonight. He was way more connected. Cedric ends up being sort of correct. Jeff, what is your opinion of Tucker as a player after this week?
Oh, he's a terrible player, but he's fantastic television. He's just like Angela. That's why they're like tied at the hip now.
Right. They're the part of the story of this season. Kenny was not good television.
No, horrible television.
So in that way, it was just here that he's voted out.
I'm happy Kenny's gone, but the move should have been sexy tonight. But I guess it wasn't earned. He didn't earn it.
It was not earned. There was, I don't know. It was just this inevitability. I was like hoping they would take some votes of Quinn here. Only Tucker votes for Quinn in this 10-1 vote.
I thought Angela did too, but I guess I was wrong.
No, I thought so too, but. Yeah, like it was.
I thought it was 2-2 when they went to commercial, but I guess
apparently that was incorrect. There was a recount, and the results were flipped. And so, yeah, Jeff, I don't know. Like, I want to see. Like, I feel like the big mistake coming out of tonight's episode, especially, was I wanted to see at least the start of the HOH. I want to see it. Like, okay, fine, Kenny had to go.
Why? Who cares?
Huh?
We know who the HOH is next week.
Who?
Quinn.
How do you know? Oh, because he has the power.
Because it doesn't matter who wins HOH.
Only if he does. He swore he would use the power.
Bullshit. He said he would use it when he was doing his speech.
Did he say that?
Yes, he said he was going after Tucker. He's going to put him up.
With the power.
Yeah. They honestly shouldn't even do the HOH competition. They shouldn't even do it.
But the hologram, Jeff.
The hologram, yeah.
We have to see this hologram.
They're going to go through the motions, and they're going to make the audience watch this literally pointless HOH.
Whoever is the HOH will have the hologram of them that Quinn will control.
Yeah, that Quinn will control.
They spent money on this, Jeff.
Hopefully, nobody tries in the HOH. They just let Quinn win the HOH straight up, and then
so it's a hologram of Quinn giving us Quinn's wishes. That would be
hilarious if Tucker wins the HOH, though, wouldn't it?
If Tucker, well, that would be the most tragic thing, right?
Yeah.
But you know what? You think Tucker's like? I guess he would. Who's motivated to win the HOH at all? What is the HOH competition?
Nobody is. Nobody is motivated to win it
because it's pointless. Because they're assuming Quinn's gonna take it. But if Quinn's the HOH,
yeah, then he doesn't need.
He should still use his power.
No, he doesn't need to. I guess he gets just for the TV effect.
The hologram, Jeff. Are we forgetting about the hologram?
I don't care about the hologram.
Well, Big Brother wants us to see this thing. That's why they hate. That's why they hate Tucker, and that not Tucker, Quinn. They hate Quinn. And they're, they, I think they were like, well, who else? Okay, Jeff, this whole week with the veto episode, what, like, even though it was kind of boring in parts, especially the competition, I thought that obviously this veto ceremony with Tucker and Cedric this week what did you think of that? Like, was that good drama, good TV?
Yeah, it was great. And
Uh,
you know what I thought it did, and I said this to Amanda. I was like, at least like, and apparently I was wrong. I was like, at least it draws a line in the sand of like who's on what side of the house. Like, to me, like, and tell me if you think I'm wrong here, Dave, but one side of the house to me it should be Angela, Tucker, Mackenzie, Leah, I guess Rubina, because she's like kind of with Tucker. Like, that should be like a 5 that is like, they're like the outcasts. And then the rest of them are all conspiring together. Does that make sense?
I think so. Like, who are you? Is Takora in that group?
No,
but
no,
she's always seems
only, there only seems to be to me 5 people that are really on the outs, right?
5 people.
Yeah, like 5 people that they have, and it was Kenny, but it was 6 before Kenny went home.
Okay, like, I don't know. Like, I don't. Right now, it's hard to really feel what the division in the house is because so many of these house guests are getting no airtime in the week.
Yeah, exactly.
Tucker was dominating this whole week.
Yeah.
Before he was on the block, was he up on the block originally? He was, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been on the block the whole week. He comes down here. He wins this.
No, he wins veto and then he uses it on Angela.
Oh, yeah. Only 6 times in history, Jeff.
Has this happened?
Yeah, that's what Julie said in the episode tonight. Only 6 times has the person who won the veto and they were on the block not used it on themselves.
Wow.
Right? Like, because there's
and how many times does that person go home? I wonder.
I don't have that stat. Maybe,
yeah, I bet you it's like 4.
Jaemeel has to work tonight, but he he would have those kinds of stats, I feel like. But 6 times in history. Was there any like notable one, like a Dan doing it, or somebody?
Yeah, so the one. Oh,
so I can't remember anything post Big Brother 15 of an example of that happening.
The one I remember, I don't think she was on the block. I thought the one was the Dan season where Danielle used the veto, and then Dan took out her boyfriend or whatever instead, and said she wouldn't. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she was HOH.
That's like season 12.
Yeah.
Like,
I can't really recall. I'm sure there's a few examples of it, but I can't recall them right now.
Right. Well, I guess it's notable here. I think I appreciate Tucker is here to play. He's here to be on TV. He's always looking at the camera. He's always playing to the camera. He's very present in that sense. And he's compared to a Kenny, who was barely on this show, and when he was on the show, it was kind of boring and sort of pointless. And he was dead weight in the season. So, just watching the Sister Nino podcast last night, the live feeders are just dying with Kenny. They don't even want to talk about it anymore.
Well, because he was constantly like, "Okay, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling like I'm ready to want to win something." And then the next hour, he was like, "I want to go home."
Yeah, I'm not.
And then he goes, "No, I'm feeling good again. I ate some eggs. I'm feeling good. All right, I'm ready to do this."
He just eats eggs all the time.
Yeah.
I wonder how soon he'll get the eggs. Like, the thing is, after you get evicted too, right? You don't immediately get to go home. You have to go to a hotel that night. You're still in sequester. You don't get your phone back until you do like all the press tomorrow morning. In Kenny's case.
Okay, well, yeah. Unless you self-evict, right?
Well, yeah, I guess if you self-evict, there will be no exit press.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he didn't want to do that.
Right. No, he's like, but like, that's kind of like the thing is he was just sort of a mopey guy here in the week, and they voted out a few other people instead of him, but he kind of wanted to be voted out from the beginning. He won the veto one time, strangely, even though he didn't really want to be saved. And he was more likely, he was thinking about using this week, Jeff, the veto episode, he was like, okay, plan is with the veto, use it on Angela, get voted out. That was like his vote. That was what he said literally in the diary room. Right. I was like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
This guy is going to win the veto to use it on the woman he's had some conflict with in this house,
Right.
right? And use it on her so he can get voted out. Like that's
That's how much things have changed since week 1.
I appreciate that Kenny's just got this bizarre wild card that was in the game, and was sort of just throwing players like Cedric off. What score would you give to Cedric's HOH this week?
Yeah, I thought he did really good. I would say an 8.
Oh, look who's with us!
Oh, coming in
Coming
from
to
the
us on the
streets.
streets.
I said I was going to come in. Sorry, I'm at work. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. Got to be quick because I'm actually on my break. But
Okay, speak your thoughts, sir.
Speak the truth.
yes, Jeff, you're not going to like this. I like Quinn. I like Quinn, and I like what he's doing for the game. I like Tucker, but Tucker is doing a great job of like thinking that Big Brother is like 5 weeks because he is playing way too hard to be pushing so hard.
Right.
And like I thought he was like, setting himself up to kind of position himself in a good place, trying to get a good group. But then he all of a sudden he's just raking Cedric over the coals over this decision that seemingly was okay. Mackenzie, like in a perfect world, the attempt should have been for what Cedric did, which is put Mackenzie on the block, get the power out of the house immediately, and then hope that America votes for Quinn. Plead for America to put Quinn on the block, and then you can do 2 for 1. That should have been a thought process. The moment that you suddenly start, you put Cedric in a position where it's like, you're wrong for putting up Mackenzie publicly. He shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have done that at all. He could have had a one-on-one conversation and kind of, say, dude, you should have at least told me you were going to do that, right? Not like just all of a sudden make this big public spectacle where you are drawing a line in the house, yes, but you have to make sure that you're on the right side of the house to do that, right? And this vote kind of shows. And not big spoiler because we're past this, but if Tucker didn't win and Tucker was on the block, they were going to vote Tucker out.
Oh yeah,
Tucker was going to be gone.
Yeah,
over Kenny. And what would Kenny have done? He would have lost it.
He would have cried. He would have been hyped and then cry later on, like he's been doing for the last week and a half. I don't understand. People, don't be on this show if you can't be away from your kids and your family for even like 3 weeks. It's 3 weeks and he's already saying that he wants to leave. This Big Brother fan, come on.
Well, he knows if he makes it like 2 more weeks, he's in jury, and then and then all of a sudden he's there for the vlog all.
Yeah, I agree that this is not a long time. I know I get his kids are 6 and 8, but like it's not like he's gone for a year. He's gone for 3 months. This is a reasonable period. It's not. It's long, but if he wins, this is only 3 weeks at this point.
Can we get an astronaut? Can we get an astronaut who at least like is used to like, hey, family, I'm going to be gone for like a year, because I'm going to the moon or something, and anything to get people that are going to be, reasonable about this length of time.
Right. Well, you think like with Kenny being ex-military, this would be something he'd be a little bit better with handling, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Jaemeel, how do you feel about the Kenny eviction overall? Did this just have to happen this week? Do you wish they had voted out Quinn here? No, you like Quinn, so
I think it's dumb
that he had to go because he's not. You as a player in the game, how could you trust someone who is like halfway in, halfway out? You don't know what you're gonna get. If you need a veto 1, but he's in his feels at the moment, and he's like, you know what, just put me on the block and vote me out. How can you depend on that number? How can you depend on that person?
No, you can't. Like I get, so he was sort of like a useless player. You can't really make an alliance with him. There's no point. Like, I think socially people liked him well enough, but it wasn't like he was like their favorite person for anybody.
He was a lot more interesting than a lot of these people that are in the game that are basically just warm bodies keeping beds warm. Like, if someone told me who is Leah outside of someone that likes Cam and Quinn has a crush on her, but she likes I don't even remember who she likes. I don't even care. It wasn't even important. It wasn't game related. She's Mackenzie's friend. That's basically who Leah is as a character. All right.
Sometimes, I don't know. Leah's kind of complicated for me. I haven't fully.
He's trying to save.
She's not complicated. I picked her. She's like, I don't even think she knows like how to play the game. She's just there to like make friends, and like she has now she's not the only one. There's a couple people at this house where I'm just like, why are they there? Like, what is going on? Like, why are they even trying to play the game? Like, what's going on?
So, as much as like Kenny had to go, there's a whole list of people who ain't playing, and Tucker, bless his soul, wanted to take out big people. Like, sure, yes, but then we're going to be left with a big group of those type of people who have no interest in playing the game. It's going to be completely groupthink type of people, and it's going to be a slog getting into the final three.
I agree. But okay. Okay, nobody else could have been nominated for this America's pick tonight for the final like nomination, other than Quinn, because so many of these people have not been on the show.
I honestly rather a character I don't know than a character at least I have investment in being in the. Put Leah on, put Joseph. Like, I don't care.
Rubina.
Sure. The joy of this episode was Quinn versus Tucker. We want to see more of that, and if Quinn left, that lessens one thing that we have looking forward to. I'm looking forward to next. I hope Tucker wins HOH.
But it doesn't matter.
But it doesn't matter who wins HOH.
No, that's immunity.
Oh, do you still get immunity?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you do. So yes, that's right. So it does matter.
Yeah, he needs to beast out and win that one, and regardless of what Quinn does, right, he can't do anything to him. So eventually, he's going to have to.
The deep fake hologram.
He's going to put up one of his allies because Tucker is probably gonna compete in the veto competition. Quinn won't be able to. So as much power as Quinn has, he doesn't have all the power.
If Quinn wins HOH, should he still use his power?
Yes.
I agree.
Why?
Because
it's the last week.
It's the last week to use
but you already have the power. Like, why? It's just for the show?
Entertainment, showmanship.
Okay.
All right. Come on.
No, sorry. I'm busting out a scenario of Tucker winning HOH. I just like the idea of Quinn using his power, Tucker being HOH. Quinn can't do anything while Tucker wins veto, changes the nom again to add in one of, even put Quinn up. Is Quinn immune with his power? I don't think so. That'd be hilarious with this power that Quinn goes home.
Yeah. Well, like if Tucker won HOH, like Cedric and Quinn are touching the block for sure.
If Quinn uses the power, does he also control?
And then Quinn will use his power. Quinn will remove those people, and then Tucker will then have to. He will automatically play because he's HOH. Wins veto, puts Quinn back up.
What if somebody like Brooklyn wins the HOH?
Oh, well, she's just gonna do what Quinn wants, and
she's gonna do what Quinn wants.
She's the Pentagon.
Yeah.
She's in the Pentagon with him, and that's a big deal. This Pentagon alliance.
Yes.
But I don't know. Like,
all right.
I feel like
you all. I gotta go. Sorry.
Okay.
Great show that you all doing.
Good seeing you, sir.
I love it.
We need to catch
Super
up.
Mater Brothers with the brothers. It's great.
All right.
Yep.
Well, you have a good one, sir.
All right. I got to make that money.
All right. You go do it. Bye.
Thanks.
All right. Jaemeel Robinson, everybody.
Yeah.
Coming in to us from the internets. He's still technically online there. I see him. There he goes. Okay. Jeff, your thoughts on what Jaemeel shared?
Well, like I just don't like Quinn because I see the entire like I see the gameplay, and I've seen it so many times with so many different players that they mesmerize people. Like he's very similar to like a Tyler or even a Paul, where like everybody just kind of goes, well, yeah, like he's really good, and they all just kind of like they never see these people as threats, and then it's way too late, and then they're like, Derek is another one, like they're like how like they're threats, and you have them on the block to like take them out.
Yeah, I agree. Like for Quinn only to get one vote here, I think is a little surprising. But on knowing that the narrative in the house is that they can't wait. They're all dying for Kenny to get out of here, but he won't leave. He's gonna wait to be evicted, right? So the idea of this going through this for another week is just like they're not gonna do it.
Yeah,
that's ultimately what we get here.
If it had been Angela sitting up there with Quinn, who goes home?
I think it's a little bit more of a toss up. Like if Angela's in the mix, I think a lot of people would like to see her go. So I think it's a little. She at least gets a few more votes at the least.
It might have been the exact same result.
Right. If it had been Quinn, okay, let's say somehow Kenny won this competition tonight, which I don't think he was trying too hard.
No, it sounds like Tucker would have won home.
Tucker would have went over Quinn, but it would have been close.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you think unanimous?
Pretty close.
Pretty close.
Angela would have voted for Tucker, probably, but maybe not. I don't know.
Maybe Kenny. Kenny was now voting. Kenny just come in and say, "Hello, Kenny," and he'd be like, "I kind of evict myself," and she'd be like, "No," and he'd be like, "All right, I evict Quinn." I think that's what Kenny would have done. So maybe like 2 votes go that way. But I guess like it's all about. I'm like, okay, what comes next? And that's why I feel like there should have been more. Yeah, good job, Jaemeel. Jaemeel's like, I didn't end the live stream on you. That was a good. Much thanks from us. Yeah, I kind of want to know what happens next now, and I guess that's the point, right? Is like comeback Sunday, but I feel like normally they have like comeback Sunday to see what we're gonna have like a thing. They did tease something like wasn't Cody coming back for an interview and Jag, and there was something at the end there that Julie mentioned, but it sort of escapes me at this moment. A few past players coming back.
Yeah, Jag and Taylor.
Yeah. They get their assessment of what's happening. I feel like do you really need them to come back and give us their thoughts?
No.
I agree.
Like I honestly, all those seasons that kind of blend together for me. I don't like. I was like, which season did Taylor win again? Did she win?
Once you get into the 20s, it got a little blurry for me.
I thought she lost. Wasn't she in the cookout season?
She is not the cookout season. She's like the Mean Girls season, isn't she?
Okay.
She's last year, right?
No, she wasn't last year. Jag was last year, I thought.
She's 2 years ago?
I don't know. See, again, like I said, they all blend together for me. I don't know.
I think Jag's hold on. I have this somewhere. But yeah, like you do lose track of it year over year. You go, okay, which one was that? I guess, was it easier when it was only like 12 of them? And when Big Brother 12 felt new?
No. Like I do like that this season like has a theme, right? So
yeah, Jag won last year.
Sam's saying my girls are safe for another week. Who are your girls, Sam? Because my girls are Mackenzie and Leah.
Those are his girls.
Are those his girls too?
He's claiming them.
All right.
You have to fight over them.
We're equally going for them.
Mackenzie and Leah. He's going for them romantically.
Right.
That's not what you need to do.
No, I'm just cheering. Just a fan.
Right. Well, that's better. Better. Is there anybody you don't want to see go next? Like you want to, or you're sort of like hoping for? Do you like if Tucker goes next? Are you going to be upset?
Yeah, I'll be upset at that guy because he's just such great TV right now. Like some of these other people are so bloody boring. Like Joseph, what a boring character he is. He's doing weird karate chops tonight on TV, and I'm like, all right, like this is the best this guy's got. Like
best he got. Like when he said tonight, like, oh, I think America might vote me out because I said a really mean goodbye message to Matt, and I was like, don't worry, no one knows who you are.
Yeah, no one knows
Joseph
who you are. And they're like,
Rodriguez.
oh, the guy with the mustache that sells VHS.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not too fixated on you. I think he was always hoping he would be nominated as the third nominee.
Yeah, just get
It
some
would be
notoriety.
for being hated, but he's not even notoriety. He's not even noted for that, Jeff. He's just kind of noted for being sort of boring and a background, kind of a floater for now. But maybe will emerge as a great butterfly or caterpillar in the jury phase of the game, and will sort of become a notable player. And maybe we'll all be cheering for Joey Rodriguez.
Maybe down the road. Yep.
Maybe down the road. I don't know. I feel like some of these players have potential. Like, what about Chelsea, my draft pick?
Chelsea's a good player. I will. Yeah.
I think Chelsea's a good one for me. I think I also have Cam. I'm feeling good about Cam. I think it's some of his tattoos. I think are a little like too much, but especially the one he's got coming up here under his neck. I'm always like, oh, looks
Neck
like he's got.
tattoos.
Have you noticed them?
No, not really.
Okay, well, that's just my personal thing. Yeah, and but I think he's doing well as a player. Although he was not like this whole thing.
What's he
Sorta?
doing? Yeah, what's he doing that's doing well as a player?
He was trying to reconcile between Cedric and Tucker tonight. He was always there. He was always trying to.
Yeah, he was trying. Yeah, and then that didn't go very well.
Yeah, he kept like looking at the wall. If you notice, as those two were kind of going back and forth.
Yeah,
got a little uncomfortable maybe in there. What about Chemo?
Yeah, they're all like laying low and just waiting to jury, and even then, like once they get to jury, it's like kind of like they'll break off into like little cliques, But we don't like this. I feel like the show's doing a very poor job of explaining who is with who and why. I
think the why is the big part. They always want to say like this person, but you're like, why? Like, why are these people connected? Why are they working together? I get, but do you think they do that in Survivor more, or is that just
they have more time in Survivor too? Like as far as like they have like 3 days of footage and they can tell you that story all wrapped up in a nice bow.
They can tell you whatever story they want, right? But
that too
in 3 days, like that's a lot of confessionals. That's a lot of like different moments in the challenges, and a lot of that gets cut out. A lot of that's never seen, right? But in Big Brother, it's all seen, at least on the live feeds. And then like 3 episodes a week is quite a bit. There's a lot out there, and yet somehow we don't know a lot of these contestants as well as we should. With all that, we're going into the 4th week now. I think it's the 4th week. Yeah, we've evicted 3 people, right? So this will be week 4, and we're still in the pre-jury phase. But like, I don't know. I kind of like that it's kind of an open field to this point. I don't feel like there's any front runner. Although this Pentagon thing, I think is going to be around for a while, and I might get sick of it soon, if I'm not already.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing with Big Brother is like that's the thing, like Dave, you have to watch the Australian version of Big Brother because it does do a better job of explaining what's going on in the house, because Big Brother is actually a character. And what happens is
Ainsley, that's what Ainsley is.
Right. And I thought they were going to do it this year, but like Big Brother actually interviews the people in the DR. Okay. And there's actually like a conversation between Big Brother and the players. So you get like a way better like DR.
I would prefer that too.
Yeah, it's way better. And then the way they do the DR in like Canada and America, it's like it's too like, hey, oh, this guy wants to take me out,
I can't let that happen. I don't want the blood on my hands. Like there's all
I can't let that happen.
Like yeah. But was it always like that from season 1 of Big Brother?
No. If you go watch like early seasons of Big Brother, it's a lot more relaxed. There was still like you don't hear any voice of like asking them questions, but they're way more like, yeah. So like Nicole wants to take me out, but I don't really want to do that. And then like there's questions being asked, and then they answer them and stuff. So it's a bit different like when they first started it.
Yeah,
but way less like theatric.
Yeah, I don't care for all the theatrics. I feel like some of the house guests over the years had that more, like in their diary room sessions, and that's been sort of imitated to a certain degree, or just part of the casting process in general, where you feel like you have to have that in order to get on the show.
It's a big part of it. It's a big part of it.
Right.
And it really shouldn't be, because it's not what it basically like gives the game like less personality, I find. Like, you know, so like that's what, like, yeah, if you watch some of the Australian version, you'll see what I mean, because the game becomes a bit more like it has its own personality because the house is a character.
Right. Well, I think if you could do that with this Ainsley thing, and you could just every time you're in the diary room, it's like Ainsley, hello, and you can make it really creepy and unsettling.
Oh yeah, which is what it should be. It's called Big Brother.
I would prefer that. It would make the show more interesting. But they go so for more of this like generic family friendly carnival game sort of thing until the Thursday night episode, where it suddenly gets more sophisticated with Julie Chen, and she gets more investigative journalist about the whole event and host. She's like how did you wince a bit when Joseph Rodriguez called her the Chen bot?
Who? Oh, did she? No.
He goes, what up, Chenbot?
And I'm sure she loved that.
I don't think she loved it. I could tell though, for sure.
No, she just likes to be called beautiful, talk about God, and love one another and all this stuff.
That was Brooklyn. Brooklyn in her when she was voting, she's like, oh, God is good, and Julie loved that. Good, God is good, and good is, I don't know, whatever it is. But like, I was like, ugh. I winced for that part more so than the Chenbot version. But like, I also felt like, screw you, Joseph. Like call her a Chenbot to her face like that. What up, Chenbot? A bit cash.
I mean, I do it. I mean,
you do it.
That's how I know her as. So not Moon.
What up, you go? Think she go, hello, Jeff, and you'd be like, what up, Chenbot? Yeah. I vote to evict Quinn.
Oh yeah, why not?
She's like, do you know that nobody else voted for him except for Tucker? You'd be like, I don't care. I'm with Tucker.
I'm with Tucker on this. In this instance, yes.
Now that Big Brother Canada has been canceled, do you think that they're going to open it up to Canadians to go on the show?
They could. I guess they did with Survivor, right? So
yeah, it's totally within the realm of possibility. Maybe preferred if they went that way. I don't know if I need Big Brother Canada specifically to come back, even though I liked it for some years. What I also found it sort of maybe limited more in ways that even the US version's not. I don't know. They have a little bit different flavor overall, even though it's the same game. But yeah, with this season, I'm just kind of like, okay, like, I want to see some, I know we have drama, but I guess I want to see like some sides to form, right? Like, and it seems like there's a lot of that is primed here this week. Or Tucker will just become the pariah of the house and will sort of be treated as the one to get out.
Yeah, Tucker's like the number one target, and that's why I think a lot of these people did this vote here tonight too, Dave, is that they're like, oh, it's a free week. Either way, Quinn or Tucker's gonna, either Tucker or like Cedric's gonna go home. So it's like, who cares?
Did you feel like Tucker was like going over the top when Cedric didn't do what he wanted? And he was
no, it was totally stupid, but it was great TV.
He's like, you screw you, man. And he's like, I can't wait to be on this couch with you. What do you mean? Like, you're getting nominated together?
Yeah, I think I don't like, again, like he's very much like Matt, where like, I don't think he understands how the game works. Like, it's like Juliel's right. He's playing way too hard, way too fast, but he's really great TV. Like, he really,
he's going to burn out.
He's going to burn out. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And that's I feel like that's like the big things like for this week.
Yeah,
it was a great week, but I feel like I'm sort of like after the eviction of Kenny, you're sort of like, okay, well now I'm ready to turn the page of how everything went here. Once you get there on the, when we put that up?
I want to show you kind of how Big Brother Australia works and what it kind of sounds like. Tell me if you can hear it.
We aren't feeling safe. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm just like, I don't know where you sit, where you stand.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Like right now, it's gone from A to B to C to D. And that's how a wild card. I never know what I want to do.
I'm trying to find
when
here
my dream go
where
over. That rejection
Big
really
Brother
freaking
talked
hurt.
to them.
You're a brave man.
They're right here.
I'm a damn fool, Big Brother.
He just called him a
Down
brave
now.
man.
Best of luck tonight.
Yeah, we better kick some butt tonight.
That's the DR.
Yeah, that's the DR. So like,
Holy crap.
this is the only season I've actually watched, but it was really good.
Yeah, it seems all right.
The thing I like about it is that like the Big Brother character is like a big part of the show, and like that's who they talk to when they go in there, and it's like instead of having Julie and telling her how beautiful she looks, who cares about all that stuff? You don't need a host. Although they also do have a host on Big Brother Australia when they do their eviction night, but the host comes into the house with them. There's no live crowd. There's none of that. There is, but they come into the house with them, and they're like, and then they go into the DR and they talk to Big Brother, and then they come out, and then they do their eviction that way. And they also switch up the way they do their eviction every week, which is actually makes it really interesting. So like there's a lot of different little things that the Australia show does way better than the American or Canadian version, I think.
You also feel? Do you feel this way about Survivor Australia as well?
I've never watched Survivor Australia.
No, neither have I. But
Australian TV though, they are good. They know what they're doing with their TV shows.
yeah, I don't know a lot about it. I haven't watched a lot of Australian TV. I don't think. What's the most famous Australian TV show?
We watched a show called The Block, which is like a renovation show. We've watched every season.
I have not seen that one.
Yeah, that's good. It's like renovation shows. There's lots of shows like there's lots of cooking shows. There's lots of like different things that they do that are really good.
I bet
like way better than Canadian TV.
They have a show called Mr. In Between. I've never heard of it. They have a show called Neighbors. In the 80s. A show called Wentworth. Looks like it's about prison. They have a show called McLeod's Daughters. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, look up top like the reality shows. Yeah, so yeah, The Block.
The Block, Alone Australia.
My Kitchen Rules is a big one.
There's The Challenge Australia.
Yeah. They're Married at First Sight. Sorry. Married at First Sight is big in Australia. There's a bunch of them. The reality TV shows are actually like where they kind of thrive.
Okay. Like, well, a lot of them are just like Australian versions of US shows.
Sure, but they also have a couple ones that are like their own thing. There's another one here we used to watch. There's My Kitchen Rules, but there's another one. Yeah, it's like the Homemade. There's a bunch of like the Renovators. Yeah, that's the main ones. But yeah, anyway, they do TV shows pretty well. Especially like the Big Brother. Like I just wish the US would do it once and like actually make it the character and like do the DR differently once. Like just do one season where it's different. And so, I get annoyed with the DR and like the way like they talk to the DR and like, it's just like bugs me.
I think the main thing that bugs me now is like that there's such a disconnect between the script, like the TV show, like the weekly show, and then what the live feed experience is,
Right.
And the fans who are into that, because like apparently like the Wednesday episode was so edited down and so untruthful about a lot of things, like leaving a lot of conversations. Although they showed some of those in tonight's episode, like the conversation where Mackenzie's like, if you put me up, I'm not going to use my veto,
Right,
or my power on myself. But why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Like what are you talking about? And then
and did Cedric do that to burn her power?
No, I think he actually believed her that she wouldn't use it.
Oh, okay. Because he said he didn't want to have to do renoms in the DR. I'm like, are you lying? Like again, like you're right. Like there is a disconnect between like how the house works, like with the live feeders, and then like even what they say to the DR sometimes, I'm like, are they actually even telling the truth in the DR? Like, you know, like, or is it just for the show? Like, you know, and they're told to say certain things, and some of them are just so bad. Like most of the people they get are just like so bad at it, you know, and so like even for what they want, you know. So I just think they kind of they miss the mark a lot of the time.
Well, the edit is so like apparently dishonest, you know, and they were just like, "Well, don't worry about this Kenny thing. Kenny, that's just his fun thing. He wants to leave." And you know, there's that whole like there's always that whole thing, and we have it on this podcast where, you know, Jameel's like, "I know what's going on," and like this person really sucks, or this person's like not interested. And then from the show perspective, you might like somebody, but then they go, "This person, you shouldn't like this person." They kick puppies in their off time, and you're like, oh man, I never knew that. Like there was another show that I was watching. So there's always like a dark truth or sort of thing. Question from Jaemeel or the Puffy Taco. Dave, do you need the eviction to be live? Because if there was less pressure to align with the outcome of the live show, maybe they could put together a more aligned narrative. Well, I guess your first question, I don't need it to be live, although I think I do prefer after the COVID era, I was kind of like really missing like just the applause. And like I know it's a weird thing, and like the crowd on the eviction night, or you know, just like the opener of the show, we're like welcome to Big Brother and all that. So you know, I don't need to be live, but I do find that exciting. So if you're gonna take that away, then or even, you know, do a taped version of the live show with the host, then you know, and then edit. You can have the freedom to edit that how you need to. That would be fine too. But if there was less,
can you put my Big Brother Australia thing up here again?
sure.
Okay, so this is how they do their evictions in Australia. Okay, so what they do is they have the 3 nominees over here in the purple chairs. Okay.
Okay.
And then they have the rest of the house sits on this big couch over here. Okay. And then there's a host that's on the screen. I was wrong. She doesn't come in the house, but she's on the screen. Okay. In a studio or whatever. But it's all taped, like what Jameel's suggesting here. And then they have time to be like, ask each person question. Oh, who are you thinking tonight? Or what's going on? Or how are you viewing this game? And like they go through each person. It's much more like the way the Survivor like jury, like it's very much like that. You know, for each eviction, that's how they do it. And then each person that's on the couch here goes into the DR and then has to go talk to Big Brother about what they're thinking. So like you get a lot more
during the vote.
Yeah, during the vote, like the Big Brother be like, "How are you feeling?" Oh,
that's weird.
Yeah, and then they always make it like a cliffhanger. They don't show you everything, but you know, it's very much like Survivor in that way. It's actually closer to Survivor than it is the Big Brother US. The way they do the evictions.
They're up to, this is season 14. You've brought up.
This is season 14. This is the only season I've watched, but I think they're up. It's past season 14 now. It's like probably season like 18 now. But anyway, like you get way more like explanation. I feel like with Big Brother US, they have 3 episodes every week, and every time there's an eviction episode, I'm like, what? Okay, I didn't understand why they didn't take out Quinn tonight. It would have made all the sense in the world, or why more people didn't even want to take that shot.
Well, the Pentagon didn't want to do it, so anybody in that alliance, like those 4 people, other 4 of the people would.
Yeah, but Dave, you could have had Angela, Tucker, Mackenzie, Leah, Rubina. That's 5. I
think you're overestimating Angela's agency.
Well, Angela just got saved by Tucker. Tucker wants to take out Quinn. Why is Angela not wanting to vote with Tucker?
I don't really know, but like I think just because Angela's not that savvy, probably, you know. Overall.
Savvy, like
she's not. I don't think she can see like the long game here. You know, she doesn't have the vision.
No, it's because they didn't have the votes. So that's what. But like,
why? Like why would Angela might have one of the votes? Like you know, if we were on the Sister Nino podcast, he would know right now. Or Taryn would have that information.
He would have that. Yeah, even Amanda listens all the life. She was like, you know, she's like, I don't think Mackenzie will vote, you know, Quinn out. And I'm like, why? Like,
because Mackenzie is like a type that has to try to like get on the right side of the numbers, and like so sort of so she's kind of playing a little desperate, I think. in some ways in terms of how she's kind of going along. You know, the fact that she had to use her power this week is probably she's not in favor of that too much. We're not too happy with like that decision. You know, you saw how she didn't use it on Matt. She's like, "Well, you better not you put me up, Cedric, or I'm going to use my power, and then you'll make an enemy out of me." But I think like deep down, she's just like, "Damn it! Like, you know, I hate this. I hate that I was even on the block for a second. I hate that I had to use my power." But this whole thing about America having to pick the replacement, she might look at it now as she's made an enemy of Quinn, right? Or even just made an enemy of all the house guests because for a whole day they had to get like you know, so, or not even when would that veto meeting have been? Probably a few days ago. They've had to consider that they could be voted in as the third nominee, which, you know, probably wouldn't make Mackenzie that popular.
This vote to me should have been 6-5 in favor of Quinn staying, but it should have and that's why it ended up 10-1 or whatever the hell it was. You know, because like 5 of the people really they should not be voting to keep Quinn. You know, it really makes no sense for their game. I understand why the Pentagon wants to do it. I get it, but the rest of the why? Like why does Leah want to keep Quinn over? And it maybe I'm not leaving with Kenny, so and maybe it is like they showed us the edit and it was super annoying, you know.
And that was just I think like a very small part of it overall. Like, you know, in terms of what they're living day in and day out with it.
But they would have taken Tucker out. So that doesn't make any sense. Like that's the part I don't understand.
I think okay, but the calculus here is that I think Quinn does tell you in his DR, like I think this is kind of honest on his behalf. He's like, yeah, I can go up, but I have the allies. I do have the votes right now and people are on my side.
Yeah, but like, okay, why? Why would Mackenzie be on his side? Why would Leah be on his side?
I don't think those are specifically the people. Like I'm
right.
speaking more Pentagon or I think, you know, I think also because people just don't like Tucker, and I feel like the fact that Tucker made it so much about Quinn that there's just a few more people leaning towards the Quinn side.
Right, and they don't want to piss that side off and get targeted and all that stuff. But you're playing like this is the problem. Is like I don't feel like you should play out of fear of Big Brother, but that's but you can go too far. You can do the Tucker thing and go too far, you know, right. And that's kind of what's been happening. So everyone's playing afraid, you know.
Basically, yeah. Like I think that's been sort of like you know, like there's the players there's like the true floaters. And then you got people who are just afraid. They just don't want to be in the spotlight at all. They're kind of like these very timid, you know, players like Chemo. I think is a great example of this, who is just like, you know, wants to be in an alliance, but doesn't really want to do anything, you know, and sort of just wants to be like play it safe and try to get power, but be on good terms with everybody. Have a lot of aloha in his heart for for Kenny and anybody else out there, you know. I think it's I just think it's just a timid way to play. I think it's just like, you know, they're self-conscious, a little afraid to put themselves out there. And so the few players that are willing to sort of like at least say, okay, are we in an alliance? Well, let's name it, let's do something, let's control this game. I think you know, I think that like they're going to do better than not because at least they're trying a little bit.
Yeah, but then once that happens and there is like a solidified alliance, and then, you know, the problem is people don't find out about it until like it's way too late, and then they're way down in the numbers, and then you know, like, and as a show viewer, you're kind of going like, well, why, you know, how did you not see this coming? Like, you know, like how did like, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like,
right?
I don't know. It's just frustrating. Like, I like to see some flips back and forth, but there's always like a big kind of collective group that kind of controls the house, and that's why Big Brother America is kind of like frustrating that way, you know, where it just kind of just rolls along, and whoever's like kind of like the most in with everybody kind of just cruises right to the final 5, no matter what. Like Quinn will just cruise right to the final 5 now because, you know, who's going to target him now? Like, if that wasn't the time to get him out, when was? You know, when will be? You know?
Well, how do you think people are going to react to the fact that he was the nominee? Like, I think that they're going to chew on that information. And, like, do you think that that's going to weaken his alliances? But, you know?
No, because the thing is now he has the power again this week, right? So like I think that'll probably kind of all go away.
You think so? Like it's just like there's like, oh well, you know, it's Quinn. We like, or the fact that he hid this power from all of his allies is kind of what got him here. And he's sort of been,
Yeah.
you know,
And
talk
Tucker
about
should
how,
have played that better.
yeah, like Tucker, you know, he's got the right idea, but he's got the wrong like, execution. I guess
Yeah.
is like truly the analysis of his game. You know, like I respect that he was like when Cedric said, "Hey man, we don't have the votes." He's like, "I don't care. We're doing it anyway."
Yeah.
And you know, but Cedric's like, if you know, don't do it, or you know, whatever. And of course, you know, Tucker was wrong with what Cedric said.
Yeah, and I think like the Amanda said that Tucker said that basically he's like he's too chicken shit to do it on his own, so I'm just gonna do it for him. You know, like that was
Yeah.
kind of like Tucker
force his hand.
Force his hand. Yeah.
Right, but Cedric, he's not the kind of guy who likes to have his hand forced. So that, you know, then he ultimately goes after Mackenzie because they feel like he's like, I can justify that as she's got this power.
Yeah.
But then she uses it, so it kind of backfires on him. It makes him look dumb because he's kind of putting everyone at risk because he's like, well, they're like, why wouldn't she use her power to save her? You believe she wouldn't, and that you know, it doesn't really hurt her so much to use it on herself. No one's gonna blame her for that. I think ultimately once she's up there, it's more, you know, to blame him when he could have put up like somebody else. I don't know, somebody safer, like I don't know, put up Rubina, and you know, I don't think she's getting voted out over Kenny.
No, probably not.
Right? So it doesn't really matter. But anyway, like it was kind of like, how do you think Quinn specifically is going to react to having been on the block from America?
How do I think who will react?
Quinn.
Oh, I don't think he'll care. Like he is pretty good at like going like, oh, I get why, like, yeah, I'm lying to everybody, or he's very like self-aware, you know.
I'm not surprised that Jaemeel is down with his game and the way he's going about this.
Why?
I think Quinn is exactly like the kind of player Jaemeel respects. I think he's like, he plays ruthless. He's unapologetically sort of like, you know, TV villainous in a sense, right? And you know, I think that's what Jaemeel always is looking for, and I'm down for that too. Like I think Quinn's an interesting character, although I don't think I would like him in real life at all. But I don't care. Like, you know, I might like Kenny better in real life.
Oh, I wouldn't like Angela in real life. I don't think.
I don't think many people would like Angela in real life. I think, like,
but she's amazing TV.
Yeah, like, obviously she's got her friends and family in her life, so you know somebody loves her. But you know,
oh, love is different than like, you know,
right. All right. You know, I think she's like most of these. I don't know. Like, there's somebody I'm sort of not. It's not Joseph. He's not like somebody I'm like, oh, I identify with Joseph. Or
well, there's not a lot of you know, movie VHS peddlers anymore. Like he's an interesting cat.
Yeah, or you know, Tucker or anybody like, I don't know, like, or Chemo even. I don't know. It's hard to get behind anybody, but I don't mind watching the show overall. I feel like I said this last week too. So
yeah, it's just like there's a few players that are just kind of like, what are they even doing? Like, you know, like Rubina, like Brooklyn, like, well, they're barely on the show. Like, what is going on? You know.
Yeah. Right, they're barely on the show. Leah, even I think is
Leah. Yeah, Leah is another one.
Yeah, they gave a little bit more to Cam and Chemo tonight, but
yeah,
you know, well, I wouldn't say we're getting a ton of them either.
No,
I don't know, because like it's been dominated so much by players like Angela. I think is also like the early season. So I feel like we're like, you know, maybe we're past the first act here, and it's time to get into the second act of the game. As we, this week, you know, that's roughly in terms of weeks where we are. So. Anyway, I think we could probably wrap it up here for tonight.
Yep.
In this particular week 3, if you're happy to be in the Burlington area, come down by Brant Hills Park on Saturday. We'll be playing softball. You can cheer us on in the Mater Open. Jeff and I going against each other in our respective softball teams. I got a few Maters, you got a few Maters,
right.
and friends.
Right. It's the Mater and Friends softball open.
It's the softball open. Blue versus red game coming up. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So looking forward to that coming up on Saturday. And we'll be back next Thursday to talk about the next week of Big Brother. Go Team Mater says, oh, well, there's 2 Team Maters.
That's right.
Jaemeel. There's Maters Raiders and there's the Mater Invaders. Tell us which name you like better in the comments. If you didn't know, we just talked about Deadpool and Wolverine. Eamon and I did a little while back here on the channel in the Mary Mater Marvel Society. Always going on. Jeff finally saw it. He said he liked it.
It's great. Yeah.
And we also mostly liked it when we reviewed it. And Davin's a big fan of it too. Of course, check out anything on the United Federation of Podcasts, our affiliations of podcasts, all kinds of things like Star Trek and X-Men and different shows like Hey, did you see this one that was on tonight? They were talking about Harry and the Hendersons. Remember that one?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right. Well, thanks for being with us. Love one another, as Julie Chen would say.
God is great.
God is great. And we will see you next time here on the Super Mater Brothers podcast team. And thanks to Jaemeel Robinson for coming in for a live remote. All right. Where is it?
From outside the Big Brother house, I'm Julie Chen Boonvez. Love one another. Good night.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. Tune in to X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show. Artistic interviews with graphic histories. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And movie reviews with Hold Up, a movie podcast. And while you're at it, spin a few records with Eamon on Track. Watch us duke it out on trivial debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mater Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.